Injuries for today. Jordan Watkins, calf, he'll be out. Ricky Pearsall, knee, he'll be out. Jawan Jennings, ankle, shoulder, out. C.J. West, thumb, out. Trent Williams, vet day. Christian McCaffrey, vet day. Yetur, knee, out. Nick Bosa, knee, out. Brock Purdy, left shoulder and toe, limited. Mac Jones, knee, limited. Renardo Green, neck, limited. Connor Colby, groin, limited. Demo, illness, limited. Go ahead.
Pearsall, he came up a little gimpy after that big 4th-and-2 catch. Was that where he was injured, and is that a serious injury, you think?
I'm not sure which play it was on, but yeah, you can't go today, so hopefully he'll get better later in the week.
Well, if Purdy and Jones are limited in practice today, does that mean that Adrian Martinez takes all the first team reps?
No, Brock will still get some. Max will still get some, but they're not going to get their full amount. So he'll get a little more. Adrian.
Is one of them farther ahead than the other in terms of health?
No, I don't think so. I think they're both limited.
How is Brock progressing with his toe?
Good. He's better today than he was on Sunday, and hopefully they'll keep continuing.
How you get to Marcus Robinson back this week? What did you think of him this summer, and do you think he can provide some explosives for you guys?
Yeah, I love getting D-Rob back. He was great for us this summer. He's been around the building the last couple of weeks, so it's been good to have him in here, and excited to see him out at practice today. I know he's been working on his own while he's been away, and excited to get him back involved.
Well, did you have to address with the team just Nick's absence here that's upcoming? I mean, you've had injuries, but this one's a season ender. So, do you address that with the team to kind of keep morale up?
No, yeah, I didn't. Everyone knows about it. I mean, it's you don't make it more than it is. I think everyone knows. I'm not going to sit here and say something and make it better. Everyone knows the deal, and so we got to focus on what we got to get done.
What have you seen from Gross Matos, especially since he hasn't practiced much this year?
I see a guy who's battled to get out there, especially with he went through this whole offseason. It's been good so far, just being able to get him out there on Thursdays and being able to get him to play on Sundays, and he's been able to do that routine, and hopefully he gets better, not worse, as the season goes, but it's something we'll keep evaluating.
He does. I mean, is that probably the plan for him throughout the season, given his knee situation?
Yeah, it's the plan until it would show us that it didn't have to be the plan.
Some would say, it has to do with the strength of schedule, but when it comes to the morale of the team, it seems like even though you guys have taken a big injury each game, it's still kind of a high morale on the team already. Now, I don't know if Nick Bosa's injury changes that, but from your perspective, what have you seen out of the guys with kind of rolling with the punches and the injuries?
I'm just kind of how we've tried to set the tone since we got here in OTAs. Guys haven't been thinking about expectations, good or bad. Guys haven't been thinking about playoffs, Super Bowl, anything like that. They've just been taking it one day at a time and enjoying football and going as hard as they can. And it's been that way since OTAs. It's been that way through training camp, and it's been that way through 3 weeks. So injury shouldn't affect your mindset on that stuff.
How far away is Jawan Jennings from being able to participate?
Hopefully he can this week. He was similar to last week. He was close to getting in. Everybody was able to make it, and it'll be the same this week.
I know he probably not going to fall to you regardless, but did you play around in your mind a little bit with Travis Hunter and how you would use him on both sides of the ball, and what kind of challenge do you think that is to do that?
I mean, it's a challenge, definitely. Not many people have done it, but he definitely, based off of film, was the guy you want to do it with. I mean, he was that good of a corner and that good of a receiver. So to see that, I think anybody would try that.
What have you seen from the Jaguars' defense on tape?
Real good defense. They're talented. They got a real good scheme. Got a lot of respect for Anthony. They're playing extremely hard. They know how to get after the quarterback. They have very sound coverages, and when they're ahead of the change, they put the pressure on the quarterback and have been very opportunistic with turnovers in that way.
What have you seen from Armstead on the film?
I think Eric looks good. Looks fresh. Looks healthy. He's playing really good right now in all 3 of these games, run and pass, and he's tough to deal with.
So many of you young defensive linemen have credited Bosa with helping him a lot since he's been here. What's your expectation? I know he's got rehab, but just your expectation for him to be around, and how important is it to have him kind of continue in that role?
It always helps, especially with a guy like Nick. Just he's got a lot more wisdom than people realize. They call him like the audiobook because that's how he sounds when he talks. But he plans on being around. He'll have to get away and do a surgery and stuff. And usually when you do that, you stay down, I think, in LA for a couple of weeks. but he plans on coming back here after that, and hopefully he's around more.
I feel Michael's playing on the edge so far this season.
I think he's doing a good job. I mean, we put him mainly inside for pass rush situations, but it doesn't mean he can't do it outside, and I think he's done a real good job there.
Yeah, the surgery on his right knee when he was in high school in 2015, does that add another layer of complexity to this one? I mean, is there any worry that it'll take longer for him to come back from this than maybe the previous two?
No, I think there's zero worry or correlation between the three. I think, this one, from what they say, was as clean as of anyone you can do. I mean, just pure ACL, nothing else. The other ones, they've all been 5 years apart. I had a buddy who tore one in high school, tore two in college, and then played 8 years in the NFL without one. I think Frank Gore's done a number of times. So it's all about how it heals, what type of tear it is, and when it's clean and you go through the rehab and stuff, it's usually brand new after that.
Him on Sunday come out of the blue tent and he was walking around and he did some high knees and stuff like that. Was he doing that because at that point nobody thought it was an ACL?
No, I think it's the process of however they check it with their hands on the sideline. There's a test that they can do that can show whether it definitely is or not, and it didn't show that. But Nick was adamant that it was, so that's why when I was told it, hey, his ACL tested out clean, but Nick's pretty confident he has one, so we're pretty worried. I think that was the case. It's all of the player, and he's doing some high knees just to make sure, but he confirmed it didn't feel right. And they did say when you have had it before, sometimes it doesn't tear as clean, so the hand test doesn't work, and you got to wait for the MRI, and it's pretty much exactly what happened in his situation.
What stood out about Mac Jones on the rewatch when you watched it again?
I saw how competitive he was, hanging in the pocket, competing throughout that game, getting rid of the ball real fast. I loved him, especially on that last drive, just not hesitating, letting it rip, and being aggressive in everything he did.
When it comes to Bosa, you said he was adamant that he knew that it was his ACL, even though the trainers were trying to work through and they didn't think so. Was that a conversation? Okay.
So I keep getting mistold on that. It's that the hand test didn't confirm it, and that's why there was hope.
Okay. Well, my question was, did he have that conversation with you, with the trainers? What was he saying? Was he just he just knew that it didn't feel right? He said, "This is my ACL."
Yeah, exactly.
Was pretty much
so he said the trainers. I was in the middle of the game, but that's what they said in the blue tent. So.
How much confidence do you have in Bryce Huff to become a bigger leader on the defensive line?
Who's that? A bigger leader. I don't expect anybody ever to be a leader and do something just different, saying, hey, I have to be more of a leader today. I think Bryce Huff has been a leader since he's been here. The guy works every day, doesn't talk a lot, but when he does, people listen. I loved how he's been here, how he does practice, how he plays in games, and I expect that to continue.
Obvious question here. Nick Bosa's down. What's the vibe been between you guys and leadership, the need to kind of step up, speak up? What's that been like?
Yeah, anytime somebody like that goes down, you need so many guys to replace them. So the vibe's been pretty urgent. When you lose somebody like that, it's the whole team needs to step up and gives you something to play for. We'll always have them in the front of our minds when we're out there playing.
You had a chance to talk to Nick at all. How are his spirits?
Yeah, he's in good spirits, man. He's been through this before. He's had to fight it before. Obviously, it's a terrible thing to happen to anybody. And that comes with a lot of stress and a lot of sadness. But he knows we all got his back, and we'll always be there for him.
You've practiced against some of these young defensive linemen. What were they like during camp?
Yeah, I think they've been great. The coolest thing to see is that they've gotten better, and they've gotten better within our scheme. So I'm fired up for them because I know, as a rookie, when you start out playing well, it only goes up with experience. So I'm excited to continue to watch them grow.
Nick almost seemed to be like kindred spirits in a way, and the coaches always talk about you two guys as the ones that take care of your body like nobody else and trade ideas and that kind of thing. So is that when a guy like that goes down that you've been particularly close to, does that make it harder?
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's he's obviously a hell of a player who means so much to this team, but he's a great friend. He's fun to have around. He's a brother to all of us, and I think that's some of the stuff that you miss the most. And I've been in his shoes before too, and that's the part that's tough when you're in that situation, is just not being around, not being on the buses and the planes, and all the spaces in between the games that you don't kind of miss out on. And so we'll make sure we're there for him. You know, he's such a good teammate. He's always been there for other people when they're going through it. So, like I said, we'll just have him in the front of our heads playing for him the rest of the year.
Christian, to kind of follow up on that, I mean, last season you weren't able to start, and then you're able to play, but then you go down and you weren't able to return. So obviously you said at the beginning of the season this year that it was hard. Are you offering any kind of advice to Nick Bosa so far about like what that process was like for you? I mean, you guys are athletes, it happens, but what's the conversation?
No, I mean he's been through this stuff before. You know, injuries suck; they're part of the deal. You know, it is what it is, and the best thing you can do is just focus on what you can control, and not worry about any outside noise because. It's hard enough as it is. So, but he's going to do a great job rehabbing, man, and he's going to come back great. We all know that. Obviously, it's tough now, but he'll come back great.
Christian, Jacksonville defense off to a good start, particularly getting a lot of takeaways so far. What is just kind of your assessment from what you've seen from them so far?
Yeah, they're really good. They got a great scheme. They fly around well, run to the ball well. They play well together, and so just like every week, it's a challenge. It's going to be about executing our job and playing our part and doing what we can to get a win, take care of the ball.
You spent some time as a teammate with Eric Armstead, and then Kyle was saying he looks like he's playing about as well as he's played. What was he like as a teammate, and what kind of challenge will he pose?
He's a great teammate, man. He was an awesome guy in the locker room, on the field, off the field, and a hell of a player. And I think the tape speaks for itself. It has his whole entire career. Definitely a force to be reckoned with. So somebody that you gotta keep an eye on the whole game.
Christian, where do you see this run game right now, and what do you guys want to take to the next level in the coming weeks?
I think we can get a lot better in the run game. I think, and we know we can, which is exciting.
Do you feel that almost with the entire offense now, the possibility of Brock coming back and Marcus Robinson coming in? Obviously, George is still down and stuff, but do you feel like with Nick down, you got to take it to another level on the offensive side, carry a little bit more of it? Yeah,
I mean, it's weird when you say, like, we got to pick it up because I don't think anybody's, there's no room to, everybody's giving it their all. I promise you that. That's every week's a new week. The season comes with a lot of different challenges, and really what it comes down to is executing your job as best as you can and playing beyond the X's and O's and taking care of the ball and doing stuff like that. But every play has a life of its own. Every game is different. And so, as far as stepping up goes, you always got to step up, whatever that means. But it's really just about, executing.
As a guy who loves football as much as you, what do you think of a guy like Travis Hunter who's trying to do what he's doing now?
I think it's awesome. It's rare you see somebody play on both sides of the ball. So, more power to him.
Who would be the best at trying to go both ways on this team, in your opinion?
I'll have to think about that. I don't know. Someone on the line, maybe. I think Trent could play if you wanted to. He could play, three tech or do something like that for sure.
You can't play safety?
I could, yeah. I don't know if I would want. If I would just played safety, that'd be fun. Brian Dawkins was my high school safeties coach.
Oh, really?
So we had that was the best. I had a lot of fun playing under him.
Did you ever play
margins
defense?
are this
Yeah.
Young?
Yeah, my whole up until I got to college, I played both sides of the ball.
when the margins are this slim between winning and losing, kind of confidence build that you guys are 3-0 instead of 0-3, 1-2, 2-1.
Yeah, no, I think being 3-0 is better than not being 3-0. It's really early in the season, though, and I think we all know that we have a mature team and know how each week you got to bring it, and it's the NFL. Every game is hard, so it's great to be 3-0. It'd be better to be 4-0.
How much do you enjoy seeing George Kittle out there being a coach and being on the sidelines? How much does that help you guys?
It's great. He's a hell of a leader. George being around and maintaining his positive attitude and all the stuff that he brings to this locker room is huge. So he's somebody that I think is essential when he's around our football team. He just helps it in so many different ways.
A couple of days to kind of digest the news. Just what's the morale of the team with the loss of Nick Bosa?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm sick. I'm so sick for him. Because he knows what that's like to go through that process, right, of a recovery from that injury, which I know he's fully capable of, but that doesn't make it any easier. Obviously, it's a huge blow to our team, but we move forward. I hate to say next man up mentality because you can't just replace him with one player. But the mission is still the same. We're going to find a way to make just to get one win this week, and we'll figure out the rest later.
Have you been able to talk with him, message at all?
Yeah. No, I sat and talked with him right when he found out, and we spoke about it, and obviously he's devastated, and we're devastated for him. But we're just praying for him, and obviously whenever he gets the surgery, that it goes great, and everything with his recovery.
You guys always talk about just kind of do your job when you lose someone like that. How do you kind of reinforce that to everyone? Hey, we'll be fine, just do your job.
Yeah, I think regardless of the injury, I think after looking at these past 3 weeks, there's room for improvement across the board. I look at myself and things that I can improve upon, and everybody else on the defense. There's another level there. We have yet to play our best ball across the board on defense, offense, and special teams. In my opinion, we found ways to win, which is great, but we have to continue to learn from our mistakes throughout these games, and find ways to take the ball away and protect it on offense. And I know if we do that, then we'll continue to win more games.
What have you seen from Jacksonville on tape?
Yeah, really good a really good football team. I think they could easily be 3-0 right now. I know they lost a tough one against Cincinnati, and I know that's their thought process too right now. And I think they're playing with a lot of aggression. I think in the run game, offensively, it's been hitting really well for them. ETN is a really great back. I don't want to mispronounce the rookie's last name, 210, I think. Really good rookie running back. Trevor Lawrence has been, finding ways to get his playmakers the football. So, it's going to be a huge challenge for us. We got to be ready to go.
Fred, you faced the factor in Tampa. What's about his spring games?
Yeah, I mean, they just come from all different directions. It's not just a traditional running back comes up and fakes like he's pass blocking and goes out for a screen. They're doing screens to their tight ends, running backs, receivers, from the left, to the right, to the middle, doesn't matter. They're coming from all different directions. So, more of that. I guess the McVay type offense, which he was with when he was with them back. With the Rams, a lot of misdirection, a lot of pre-snap communication and Jets motions that we have to be on top of.
Does Saleh's style maybe help you guys compensate in terms of a pass rush without Nick maybe than the past couple of years? Because it seems like there's been more unpredictability and more blitzes where those are already ingrained in you guys at the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean it is by committee. I'm not going to sit here and say that losing Nick is a big deal, right? Like that's one of the best players on, not just on our team but on the planet. So, we got to find ways to continue to create those pressures, and he was obviously great for us in the run and the pass. So we got to just find ways to fill the void.
How do you make sure that Michael doesn't feel like he needs to replace Nick himself, and that he's still, you want him to grow and not put too much pressure on himself?
Yeah, I honestly don't think much needs to be said. I think Michael's made of the exact right stuff. I don't feel that he's even thinking in that way. I think he's just so excited that he's having the opportunity to have as big a role as he's had with us so far, and I think obviously that role is only going to increase, and he just loves playing the game and already wants to be the best version of himself. And so if he just continues to keep going, then I know that he'll go where he wants to.
When you hype the team up before practice today, whatever, do you not bring up Nick? Is it like, okay, that's done, that's in the past, we got to move forward?
Yeah, I mean it hasn't been brought up. I think it's not to say that it's not important. Right. It's just that what is that going to help us for this week, right? I think we're already on to Jacksonville and just finding the keys to victory for this week.
To kind of follow up on the question asked about Michael, but about Bryce Huff, kind of quiet guy, but he's made an impact through games this season so far, more of less of like an edge rusher compared to Nick Bosa, right? So being that he may have to fill that void in some ways, any pressure you think on him, being that he's coming off a season where he won the Super Bowl, he didn't play, things like that?
No, not at all. I think Bryce has been amazing for us, and again, same thing with Michael. I think they're both just eager to continue to grow in this defense, and we all truly just love the game and want to continue to be the best for our teammates. And I love what I've seen out of Bryce. I think he's a phenomenal player, and he'll only get better with time.
I feel very confident. I'm very comfortable just being here and doing what I've been doing for years. So. Yeah, I definitely try to lead by example. Just go out and handle my business every day.
What have you seen from the young guys since?
Hardworking guys that show up every day ready to work and find ways to get better. So I feel like they're gonna definitely have some big plays coming up here soon.
What have you seen about the development of Michael?
I mean, Michael's on point. You know, he came in first rounder, like he's playing like a first rounder. He's been making great plays. Had a lot of consistent pressure last week, so I'm looking forward to seeing how he continues to develop.
I'm sure you guys don't want to do anything out of the norm, but with Nick out, what's the conversations like in the room in terms of how you guys step up and fill that void?
I mean, really just like a next man up mentality. Like we've all been brought here to perform at a high level. So with Nick being out, we definitely have to pick up the slack on that front and go out and put our best foot forward.
How helpful has he been for you since you got here?
Nick's been extremely helpful, you know, since day one. Like, he's been anything that he can help me with, he's been more than willing to give me advice or watch film or, like, just talk about his process, and he's been an extreme help for me.
Is football fun again for you? Did you lose a little bit of that last year, and do you feel like it's back now?
Yeah, I feel like it is fun, you know, especially being in the room with all my guys and being able to chop it up with the interior and edge guys, and, you know, just working hard every day together, it really helps build that bond. So it definitely is a fun time again.
Sorry you've been asked this, but a lot has been made of your speed and how quickly you can get off the line. What kind of training goes into that might be different than a different lineman?
I mean, nothing in specific. I really just focus on loading my lower half early in the week and training that quick twitch response off the ball on Thursdays, on pass rush days, and that's pretty much what goes into it.
Do you have a running background or anything like that?
Right. Not necessarily. I've just always played sports, so I feel like I just had a quick touch to me.
How much was working with Chris and Sarah
it's changed a lot. I feel like I'm definitely thinking a lot less, and everything's like more black and white. So I'm not thinking about all the different possible outcomes of every play. I kind of know what's going to happen before it takes place, and I'm able to react and able to respond how I need to.
I apologize if you've already addressed this, but do you feel the need to do more with Nick out, or are you just doing your job?
I feel like the need to do what I've been brought here to do, and that's play at a high level. So, yeah.
Do you enjoy that less thinking, just play faster type of defense for you?
Yeah, 100%. So I can just go out there and be an athlete and not have to try to solve an equation before every play. I can just get off the ball and do my thing.
What are you going to miss the most about having Nick Bosa just around and obviously on the field, but as a teammate?
Yeah, I think what he just brings to our team, you know, in the locker room, on the field, whatever it is, you know, I mean, he's one of our best players. You know, he's a threat in our defense, so I think that's, you know, the biggest concern. But, you know, just having a dude in the locker room like that to be around each and every day, you know, a good dude. So, you know, it's going to be a big loss for us for sure.
When did you hurt your knee, and how's it feeling today?
It's feeling good. Actually, I don't even know when I hurt my knee. To be completely honest, I felt a little bit of soreness after the game, and it wasn't until later on in the night I was kind of moving around and felt a little soreness. Nothing that I was, you know, really concerned about. Came in the next day and was, you know, talking to the trainers, and I told them the same thing I'm telling you right now is, you know, I'm not really concerned, but I just want to check it out a little bit, and you know, that's kind of what I'm doing with it. It's just a little bit of soreness, and I'm not worried about it. If there was a game today, I'll play.
Do a couple more. What's the biggest challenge of not knowing who your starting quarterback is going to be on Sunday until maybe you get the game time?
I think to me, just, you know, just a name at the end of the day of whoever they call up. You know, for me, I just got to be in my spots, you know, when they need me, and, you know, run my routes like I've been trying to run my routes, you know, each practice and each game. So I don't think it's going to change anything for me, just being in the right spots for them.
Has DeMarcus Robinson been
Last one
involved
here.
in the wide receiver meeting rooms?
Yeah, he has. You know, DeMarcus Robinson, he's a really talented receiver. You know, he's going to bring a lot, you know, to the receiving core. We're super excited to get him out there. I know those 3 weeks probably went by really slow for him. We're excited to go out there and ball together.